if you have tension in a relationship in your life, then that tension is going to turn into some sort of physical
Yeah,
tension within a muscle or within a body part
yeah,
of some
exactly.
sort.
And then it creates a domino effect. Like if it's a hip flexor, then it can hit your shoulder or your knee or your ankle, and then you just have to start unwinding that ball of yarn.
What's up, y'all? Dylan here at Gravity and Oxygen Fitness. We are here for another Turf Talk Tuesday. Today's topic is three-dimensional client support. I'm here with Dr. G, Mr. Oleg. He has been working here in our facility for 3 months.
2-3 months, yes.
Yeah.
That's about
Working with some of our clientele, some of our members, and it's been amazing. He's worked with me. He's worked with Haley, PC. I mean, Rob, Alfredo, the whole team, pretty much.
I've been loving it.
Yeah. So, and we've definitely been seeing the benefit of it, and we figured what better way to expose him to more of our membership and to expose him to everyone in our network than to do a Turf Talk Tuesday. So
Let's do it.
let's do it. Do you want to give a quick background of how we kind of got into even this whole relationship?
Yeah. So it's a pretty funny story. I moved down here with my family a year ago, exactly, June 1st. And I was looking for a coffee shop, actually. And I found one right next door. And then my kids ran over here. I'm like, oh, let's take a look. What's there? And I was like, oh, that's my new gym. I'm like, hello. And PC actually is like, he was the only one here, so he's like, oh, come and check it out. Who is this? He told me about his approach, and I'm like, dude, this is exactly what I'm into.
Yeah.
And I started taking classes. He invited me to a men-only class.
Bro lift. Yeah.
Bro lift. I loved it. Almost puked. But I've been coming ever since, and I got my license in Florida in December. Started seeing people here and there, and then one thing led to another. I started seeing people here, and it's been rocking and rolling since then.
It's been good. You've gotten just trying to find times and snapping.
Yeah.
It's been good.
It's starting to get a little more difficult to plug people in.
But not the worst problem to have.
No, not at all.
People keep coming back, and obviously I'm one of those people. So you were a personal trainer when
Yes,
you were around my age.
Yeah, actually a little earlier than that. I started training at 19 while I was in undergrad for exercise science. After I graduated, I went full time. I spent like 12 to 14 hours a day in the gym until I burnt out. And then I had to take a step back and limit myself to how much time I spend in the gym so I can actually
get somewhere and do some other things, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then after 2 years of full-time training, I realized that I had to move on to something bigger.
So that's where you kind of got into chiropractic. Right?
Yeah. Interesting story. After 2 years of full-time training, I got a little depressed that I'm not fulfilling my potential in just training. So I kind of went away from everything, and then after a month of just laying on the couch, I saw this program on TV where they were doing a little expose on a young chiropractor who did both training and chiropractic, and 3 months later I started school.
Wow. What an interesting thing, right?
Yeah.
If you weren't lazy and laying on the couch, you wouldn't have.
I would be like
your life trajectory could have went so many other ways.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to step back and see the big view.
Embrace the suck sometimes, right?
Exactly.
So it's funny how it almost came about that like you met PC that day. Then all of a sudden you said, well, you definitely got to meet like my brother, and your brother came down, and we all kind of sat with your brother for a long time, and he introduced us to a lot of different things that you obviously
exposed to as well.
Yeah, and it's so funny how
you went around and
round, full circle, right?
Yeah.
But it is called three-dimensional, client support. So we're here to talk about how we can collaborate as a gym and as yourself a professional. Like, how do we basically encompass the holistic approach to helping the clients, the members, speak a little bit about your philosophy on
So,
that.
chiropractic originally, D.D. Palmer, who's the father of chiropractic, he actually, even 120 years ago, he was talking about physical, chemical, and back then he called it autosuggestion, what we call right now emotional. So, the physical portion is going to be the exercises, the rehab, the chiropractic adjustments, and all the other therapies that we can do physically. Chemical portion is going to be the nutritional supplementation and the detox process, which is crucial, right? You gotta put the right nutrients in, and you gotta take the garbage out. Otherwise, your garbage can get full, and then nothing can happen after
I
that.
always say if you're gonna put new oil in the car, you better take the old oil out.
Exactly. That's actually, I'm gonna steal that from you.
All right, cool.
And the emotional aspect, sometimes it's the hardest for humans to deal with because we get stuck in our head so much. For dogs and cats, they can just shake it off, right? And no more emotional issues. But just to quote the name of a book, Buried Feelings, Alive Never Die,
Mm.
the unresolved emotional triggers or issues that we don't resolve and don't make peace with, they will show up in the body somehow.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, so it's different organs or different tissues will have some kind of a symptom or a disease process. So it's very important to work on all three because you don't want to leave a little piece behind. Yeah, once you work with all three pieces, that's why my results have been getting
Better.
better and better and better.
Quicker, more efficient.
Quicker, more efficient, longer lasting, so we can get ahead of a problem before it snowballs and creates a bigger issue.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point, and I obviously can speak on this as you've worked with me, but just understanding that if you have tension in a relationship in your life, then that tension is going to turn into some sort of physical tension within a muscle or within a body part.
Yeah,
of some
exactly,
sort.
and then it creates a domino effect. Like if it's a hip flexor, then it can hit your shoulder or your knee or your ankle, and then you just have to start unwinding that ball of yarn. That's how my approach has been so far. It's not like, oh, you have this, and this, so we're going to fix this and this. A lot of times there's underlying issues that you pull a thread and then it's like a whole closet of skeletons pops out.
I want to talk about your saying regarding structure, right? Structure dictates function.
And it does. Structure dictates function. I use an analogy. I don't know if it makes any sense but it makes sense to me. It's like a bicycle with square wheels. Will you be able to ride it? No.
Yeah.
So are you going to work on the frame or are you going to change the tires?
Interesting. I like that. Simple, but it makes it.
As long as
profound.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I've been using it so far. It's been making sense. If it doesn't, I'll change it.
Yeah, and that's another thing that you're really good at is meeting the client halfway and understanding like.
It's been a long process to get there.
Yeah,
that's for
but
sure.
You definitely have fine-tuned that ability to like, okay, I can talk this way to somebody, or I can really just jump into that with somebody where someone else it might take a while before I kind of ease into a certain topic or a certain body part.
100%. It's definitely been a learning process. I'm in my 13th year of practice, and I'm definitely getting better.
Yeah.
But so much more to learn, and it's everybody's unique. So you have to use a unique approach. You can't use a cookie cutter approach.
That's a valid point. Valid point. I always hated the neighborhoods that all looked the same.
Yeah.
Not a cookie cutter guy. I don't know. Just never did it for
Neither
me.
am I.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite tools to use? I mean, I've had some experience with different things.
I do like to use a lot of tools because I want to save my hands for the long haul, but also I'm heavy-handed, so I want to use tools in the beginning. And we use something called vibrocursor. We use a adjusting instrument. I do a lot of instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization or Graston or wash or whatever you want to call it. Definitely a lot of attention to the fascial work because we want to take the pressure of the whole system. We do hypervolt massage guns are fantastic. And there's so much more out there. We can do color therapy for emotional release. We use lasers, anything that is there for us to use, we'll use, because not everybody responds to the same things. So
Yeah.
you have to have a big toolbox, and the more tools you have, the better job you can do, I believe.
That's a good point. Not that you just throw everything at everybody and say, yeah, hopefully that works, and
No.
if it does, you move on to something else anyways. No, but
Yeah.
you've fine tuned, or if
Yeah.
that doesn't work, I move on to option B.
Exactly.
If not, option C.
There's definitely a method to my madness.
Good, good. There's a hierarchy of priorities
Yes,
for sure,
definitely.
and it's been helpful. I'll tell my quick testimony really quickly. I've had exposure to this kind of thing for years, just as a result of being an athlete in college and all of those different things. So for me, it's easy to kind of understand what a professional should be doing, what they should be looking for, and how to maneuver through. Or sometimes I can sit back and be like, oh, let me act like I don't know and see if someone can, you know, basically
Yeah.
prove to me that they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's been amazing to work with Oleg. He's unveiled certain things that I've had chronically for a couple years, and he's pointing out what that may be due to emotionally, what that may be due to from previous injuries, and then doing things that other professionals can't do, like doing some Graston, doing some ART and
Yeah.
active release technique that not everyone is familiar with. So that's been helpful for me, especially now that I'm playing basketball
That's
more.
awesome. That's great to hear.
Yes,
It's really good to
so
hear.
that's helped me for sure, and just being more conscientious of
Posture.
and now translating to my clients working with you. So when I have someone, that may be hitting like a wall, and you've been able to kind of break that wall down little by little.
Little by little, that's
and
it.
for us, that becomes easier to jump over, and
Exactly.
now that wall can be in our past, and we can move beyond that and continue to get clients and members the results that they're looking for. So I've seen it both hand in hand myself and with my clients.
That's awesome.
What you've done. So
That's amazing to hear for me.
yeah.
Definitely boost my ego a little bit. And that's actually one of the issues I've had when I was a trainer. Before I went to chiropractic, I was hitting a lot of walls, and I had no idea how to get around them, and I was getting frustrated, and like I didn't even know what chiropractic is at that time.
But now you're, one
mean,
commercial away from your whole life changing.
Awesome, man.
So let's talk about just how people can get in contact with you, what kind of schedule and hours, when you may be here, or maybe other things.
So I do one day in Sunny Isles from 10:30 to about 4:30, and most of the time I'm right here at GNO. My hours are right in between the classes, so 10 to 5 is usually when I'm here. The best place to reach me is at my phone number is 212-308-0561, and the email address is office@laboflife72.com. laboflife72.com.
Cool, and we can put that in the description and everything.
Awesome.
We'll have that linked, and
Awesome.
that's it, like I said, it goes a lot further than just lifting weights, and sometimes you do hit those walls, and you got to understand what may be causing those limitations or those plateaus to occur. And you've done an amazing job.
Thank you.
Integrating into the facility.
I love it.
Everybody around here loves your energy and everything.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. I look forward to coming here every time.
And we look forward to having you. It's definitely changed up some of what goes on here in the middle of the day, so it's cool.
Yeah, that makes me feel good, man. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your presence as always. Let us know if you want to get in contact with Oleg, Dr. G. He can facilitate that hopefully, and we can facilitate you getting in contact with him as well if you reach out on your end to us. So with that being said, good energy always wins, and we'll see you next time on Turf Talk Tuesday. Adios.